Did you know that in a city like Lucknow, a murder took place that has raised questions about the police? People are wondering how the citizens can be safe when even the police are not secure. Today's story is about a lady police officer whose decision ruined her well-settled life. Hello friends, how are you all? Today I'm talking about Ruchi Singh. This story begins in Lucknow, the capital of Uttar Pradesh, where the police headquarters is located and a lady police constable was on duty. The incident took place on February 12, 2022. Ruchi Singh was actually posted in Barabanki district and was serving there. However, due to the election season, her duty had been temporarily assigned to the police headquarters in Lucknow. This happens sometimes during elections when staff from nearby districts are called in for reinforcement. Similarly, 28-year-old Ruchi Singh's duty was assigned to the police headquarters. Originally, she was from Bijnor, where her parents, brother, and sister-in-law all lived. But due to her job, Ruchi had to stay in Lucknow and had rented a small flat in Arjun Nagar. On the night of February 12, 2022, Ruchi's sister-in-law called her. It was around 9 p.m. when Ruchi picked up the phone and said her duty had just ended and that she was on her way home. She promised to call once she got home, but an hour passed and she didn't call. Her sister-in-law thought Ruchi might have forgotten, so she called again, but this time, Ruchi's phone was switched off. Her sister-in-law assumed that maybe Ruchi had fallen asleep or her phone had run out of battery, so she didn't call again. The next day, February 13th, was a Sunday and Ruchi was off duty. Her sister-in-law called again around 8 a.m., but Ruchi's phone was still off. Thinking she might be sleeping, she called again at 10:30 a.m., but the phone was still off. This made her sister-in-law a bit worried, so she contacted one of Ruchi's colleagues, also a police constable, who worked with her. The colleague said that because of the elections, both she and Ruchi were assigned to the headquarters and that it was strange that Ruchi hadn't shown up yet. Usually, if she needed to take leave, she would submit an application or call, but she hadn't done that. The colleague promised to check on her. That evening, after finishing her duty, the colleague went to Ruchi's rented flat. The landlord, who knew Ruchi's colleague, told her that Ruchi had left for duty the previous day and hadn't returned since. The landlord assumed that Ruchi had gone to visit her family since she would often go home on short breaks. The colleague called Ruchi's sister-in-law again, and when she confirmed that Ruchi hadn't come home, everyone started worrying. Ruchi's family rushed to Lucknow the next day, February 14th, and began searching for her, visiting police stations and speaking with the landlord. Meanwhile, Ruchi's colleague posted a picture of her in their WhatsApp group and on Facebook, describing her as missing since February 12th. The post quickly went viral, and by February 15th, senior officials were aware of the situation. They were angry that the case had been shared on social media before filing an official missing person report, leading to disciplinary action against the colleague. Despite the family's efforts, no significant action was taken to investigate Ruchi's disappearance, as the police were preoccupied with election duties. On February 17th, a man called the police emergency number, reporting a body in a drain in the Kalimati area of Lucknow. When a police team arrived at the scene, they found the body of a young woman whose face was unrecognizable. The body was sent for post-mortem. Meanwhile, Ruchi's family was still searching for her. On February 19th, they visited a police station where a constable from Bijnor, Ruchi's hometown, recalled hearing about the discovery of a woman's body a few days earlier. He suggested that they visit the morgue to check. The family, devastated at the thought, went to the morgue, where they were shown the body found in the drain. As soon as they saw it, they broke down it was Ruchi. The post-mortem revealed deep marks on her neck, indicating strangulation. This was clearly a case of murder. The media, which had gathered at the morgue, reported that the deceased was a police constable. The murder of a lady police constable raised serious questions about the safety of even the police, leading to widespread concern. The posts people remember went viral that day, but now the person has been murdered. This breaking news is spreading rapidly. The constable went missing on February 12th. Her body was found on the 17th, and it was identified on the 19th. However, her family had been wandering around since the 14th. When news broke in the media that the lady constable had been murdered, people's anger erupted. Questions started being raised about the police. People began saying that if the police can't protect their own staff, how will they protect the public? Now, let's see how this gets highlighted. Senior officers have noticed it. The case was first registered at Sushant Gulf City Police Station. The police have now gone into action mode. Ruchi's mobile phone was recovered from near her body. Her location history and call details are being extracted. On Ruchi's phone, there was a number she had spoken to for a long time before the phone was switched off. She talked mostly to this number over the last 3 months, with the longest calls being with this number. Sometimes Ruchi would call, and sometimes the call would come from the other side. It was February 19th. By 9 p.m., the police commissioner had arranged an emergency meeting, calling the investigating team, crime branch officials, and the surveillance team. The commissioner said that there had been gross negligence in the case. Why was no one paying attention? Why was the complaint not filed earlier? A lady constable was missing, and no one took action. Even the basic work that should have been done wasn't completed. After this, the commissioner asked for updates. The officer leading the surveillance team revealed that a person named Padmesh Srivastava had come to light. He is the Tehsildar of Rani Ganj in Pratapgarh district. He had been in frequent contact with Ruchi Singh. No ordinary acquaintance speaks as much as these two were. It is possible that Padmesh knows something about Ruchi. This is the only lead we have, and we should interrogate him. Orders were given to arrest Padmesh that very night. By now, the media would have learned about this person, and they would likely print it in the papers tomorrow morning. If his name came out, there was a chance he might flee and go underground, making it difficult to catch him. Before tomorrow's morning paper reached the public, Padmesh had to be here. The officials left for Pratapgarh around midnight from Lucknow. They reached Pratapgarh by 4 a.m. and went straight to the SP's office. There, they met the SP and an inspector. The Lucknow officials informed them of whatever information had been gathered about Padmesh Srivastava. The inspector made a few phone calls, and it was learned that Padmesh Srivastava was staying in a transit hostel in Rani Ganj's company bog. With this information, the Lucknow police team, along with Pratapgarh police, reached the transit hostel to apprehend Padmesh. He was there and opened the door. He was taken into custody and brought directly to Lucknow. By 9 a.m., the police team reached Lucknow. The interrogation of Padmesh began. He admitted knowing Ruchi. When the police inquired further, he said that they had met due to work, and their conversations were work-related. He was spinning his answers, not giving clear information. By this time, the surveillance team had gathered all the call details, when and how long the calls were made, and who was where during the calls. When Padmesh was not responding properly, the investigators revealed all this information to him. When the police applied pressure during questioning, Padmesh admitted to knowing who killed Ruchi. Everything that was learned from him and Ruchi's family during the interrogation is as follows. Ruchi Singh was a resident of Najibabad in Bijnor. In 2019, while on duty, she met a constable named Neeraj Gupta. They were colleagues and became friends. Slowly, they began to like each other and informed their families about their relationship. They didn't care much about caste differences. Their families agreed to the marriage, and the couple got married in 2019. After the marriage, they spent some time together, but due to transfers, they were posted in different locations. Ruchi was transferred to Bijnor, and Neeraj to Pragati. Because of their jobs, they had to live apart. Ruchi was quite active on Facebook. In 2019, she met Padmesh Srivastava on Facebook. He used to leave flattering comments on her posts, and Ruchi began chatting with him on Facebook. Their friendship deepened, and they exchanged numbers. Whenever Ruchi had time off, she would secretly meet Padmesh at the transit hostel instead of going home. One day, Neeraj became suspicious that something was going on between Ruchi and this man because Padmesh used to comment on her pictures, and Ruchi would respond and comment on his posts as well. Through mutual friends, Neeraj learned more and started keeping an eye on Ruchi. He investigated on his own and found out that they were having an affair. He confronted Ruchi about this, and they began to argue. Ruchi told Padmesh that her husband had found out about their affair. Padmesh told her to divorce him, saying she should prepare the divorce papers. Otherwise, how tying a rope above and domestic violence. I'll send everything to Jai, and you'll lose your job too. Since you're a woman, people will easily believe you. Neeraj also knew that this had happened to many people, A wife, due to her affair, made up false accusations against her husband and got him thrown out. Neeraj thought that divorce was the right option. Who would want to stay with a woman who has an affair even after marriage? Neeraj spoke to a lawyer, prepared the divorce papers, and divorced her through the proper procedure. After the divorce, Ruchi was free. Now, she wouldn't have to secretly meet Kamish. She could meet Padmesh whenever she wanted. Whenever she got time off or took leave, she would go straight to his hostel. Both started living in an open relationship. Padmesh's hostel was such that only government employees stayed there. It was for those who were transferred and were delayed in getting accommodation. These people stayed in the transit hostel flats. Padmesh's colleagues, seniors, and junior employees also stayed there. Ruchi started meeting openly with Padmesh, and many people in the hostel saw them together. One day, someone called Padmesh's house and told everything in detail. Padmesh's wife's name was Pragati. After learning the truth, Pragati called her husband and asked about the woman. Padmesh got scared and confessed everything. After cutting the call, Padmesh called Ruchi and informed her that his wife now knew about their relationship. Ruchi was shocked. She didn't know that Padmesh was married. She had divorced her husband because of this. Padmesh told Ruchi that his wife would call her soon and that he had given her Ruchi's number because he had no choice. If Pragati says anything or speaks harshly, Ruchi should just listen and not reply. After that, the call ended. Immediately after, Pragati called Ruchi. One can imagine what must have been discussed between a wife and a girlfriend. Pragati said many things to Ruchi. Ruchi told her to talk to her husband and ask him whose fault it was, who initiated it, and who approached first. Shortly after, Pragati left her in-law's house and directly went to the target hostel where Padmesh was staying. After that, whenever Ruchi called Padmesh, Pragati would intercept the call. Gradually, Padmesh started talking to Ruchi less. He would only talk to her from his office because Pragati always had the phone at home. Now, Ruchi realized that the man she had been living with for so long was married and had children. Ruchi had divorced her loving husband for this man. She realized her mistake, but it was too late. Now, the only option left was to marry Padmesh. Ruchi started telling Padmesh that she had divorced her husband because of him, and now he should divorce his wife and marry her. If he didn't, she would come to his house and tell everything to his wife about how he ruined her life. Padmesh knew that Ruchi was capable of doing anything and would create a scene. He didn't want to divorce his wife. If Ruchi came to his house, it would bring a lot of disgrace. His family, in-laws, and friends would all find out. Padmesh became irritated with the same thing being repeated every day. By now, it was 2022. Padmesh decided what he needed to do. When Ruchi called, he told her that he would come to meet her in Lucknow on February 12th, and they would fix the date for the wedding. Ruchi agreed and told him to call her when he arrived, and she would meet him at the decided place. Now, February 12th arrived. After finishing his duty, Padmesh left for Lucknow by car, accompanied by a man named Naman Singh. Both left at 6 p.m. and reached Lucknow by 9 p.m. They called Ruchi, who said she was on her way and asked for the location. Padmesh told her to come to the gate of Jik, and he would pick her up. Ruchi arrived at the spot and called again. Padmesh asked her to walk a bit away from the gate, where a car would be waiting. The place was isolated and a bit dark. Naman dropped Ruchi near the car and left. Padmesh got out, approached Ruchi, and got her into the car. He also sat in the car. After a while, Naman returned with tea, saying, "Sir, there was a delay. Have some tea." He first gave the tea to Ruchi. After drinking the tea, Ruchi started feeling dizzy. Naman had mixed sleeping pills into the tea. He had ground the pills into powder and brought them with him. Everything was going according to plan. Then, Naman sat in the driver's seat and started the car. While they were on the way, Padmesh began strangling Ruchi, who was already unconscious. She died soon after. Naman, familiar with the area, drove the car to a well, stopped it, and threw Ruchi's body into the well. After that, they went straight to Pratapgarh. During the investigation, it was revealed that when Padmesh was leaving home that evening, his wife had asked him where he was going since there was no meeting scheduled. Padmesh replied that he was going to solve her problem and would return after finishing the task. His wife agreed, saying she was tired of hearing and seeing the same things every day. After completing the task, Padmesh returned to Pratapgarh with Naman at 2 a.m. Pragati had been waiting for her husband. Padmesh told her, the work is done. After the truth was revealed, Pragati